Hi, my name is Miss Shelby Elder, and I am a high school science teacher here at Goshen High School. And I'm going to be teaching you about a couple of the different invasive plant species that are specific to our community. This video is going to be solely about bush honeysuckle. Today I'm going to be teaching you about what is bush honeysuckle and how it got here. I'm going to be teaching you how to identify it, how to remove it, and why it's such a problem. So let's get out of this classroom and go outside and see if we can find some bush honeysuckle. Bush honeysuckle was first introduced to the United States in the mid to late 1800s. It originally came from Europe and Asia with the purpose of erosion control, wildlife cover, and as a decorative ornamental. There are 3 common species in Ohio, but Amur bush honeysuckle is the most common in our area, and that is what I'll be showing you now. First, let me show you how we identify it. Bush honeysuckle is very easy to identify due to the fact that it leaves out a lot earlier in the spring and it keeps its leaves a lot later in the fall as compared to the native species that are comparable. We're going to be looking at a couple of the key characteristics of bush honeysuckle so that way you know how to identify it. We're going to be looking at the leaves, flowers, stems, and fruits. We're going to be using this bush honeysuckle behind me, so let's take a look. The first 2 characteristics I want to take a look at are the leaves and stems. The leaves typically range anywhere from 1 inch to 3.5 inches, and they're known to have very smooth edges. If you take a look, you'll notice that the leaf edge is not bumpy, it's not curved, it is smooth all the way around. That is what we're looking for. Additionally, the leaves are also positioned opposite of each other. So it's one here, one on the other side, one and on the other. They're straight across from each other. The stem typically is hollow of a invasive bush honeysuckle. So if you look, you can see that my stem is hollow, which is what we're looking for. Native honeysuckles have a solid stem. The next 2 characteristics I would like to discuss are the fruits and flowers. Bush honeysuckle blooms early in the spring, and as you can see, there are several blooms on this one bush. Bush honeysuckle is known to have fragrant, tubular flowers that start off white, but as they age, they turn a yellowish color. In the late summer, early fall, bush honeysuckle will form fruits in clusters of 2 to 15. These fruits typically are red, but sometimes can be orange or yellow. I will now show you a picture that one of my students took during our research project at the beginning of this 2023-2024 school year that shows these fruits. Take a look now. Previously discussed, this invasive species is such a problem because it blooms so much earlier than native species. This is a problem because it's going to outcompete native species for those resources that it needs. Sunlight, space, nutrients, water, because bush honeysuckle is able to thrive in just about any condition that it's placed in. Additionally, as it is killing off native species because it's outcompeting them, the invasive bush honeysuckle becomes a main food source for many of the bird species that are in our community. They're going to live on these red berries that it produces in the late summer, early fall. However, this is a problem because these little red berries lack a lot of the nutrients that the birds need in order to survive. When it comes to removing bush honeysuckle, you have several options depending upon how many you have, how big they are, and your comfort level. I'm going to go through and teach you some of the ways that you can remove invasive bush honeysuckle all on your own. One way is to mechanically remove them. If the plants are small and few enough in numbers, they can be pulled, dug, cut, or even mowed fairly easy. It is important to note that if every root is not removed, the plant may return. Unfortunately, the plant here in front of me is much too large for me to mechanically remove, but it is an option if your plant is smaller than 6 feet. Another method is chemical control. A diluted herbicide can be sprayed directly onto the leaves of the honeysuckle that are in easy reach of the sprayer to prevent accidental damage to non-targeted plants. However, you can also do a mix of both of these methods and cut the stump as close to the ground as possible and immediately apply an herbicide treatment. This method is most effective if done in the late summer or early fall. If you think you've come across any bush honeysuckle, it is strongly recommended that you remove it in one of the ways that we previously discussed. This invasive species is disrupting the biodiversity of Goshen Township, and we need your help in restoring our community. Be sure to also check out my other 2 videos over invasive garlic mustard and the invasive pear tree to learn about other invasive species that can be found in our small community of Goshen Township. Have a great day.